Hi, good people. Tiffany Javon here, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about God blessing me with my miracle baby. I got some notes. I got my other phone over here, so that way I had to listen. I feel like I went through a lot, and so just so I don't forget anything, I took some notes. Wanted to make sure I give you guys the chronological order of everything, but you'll understand that God has been so good to me. He's blessed me, even though the beginning of the story may not be as happy as maybe I want it to be, but sometimes you got to lose to win, and it's really not losing when you got your life in God's hands. I truly believe that. And Jesus took the wheel. He took the wheel, and it's all for the glory of God. So I'm super happy today to talk about how God blessed me with my miracle baby. And so towards the end of this video, I will show you guys Caden, and I'm just so overwhelmed, like, with joy. Like, I'm always loving on him and just like, God, you really blessed me, and kissing on him and just all the things, right? So you guys understand here later. So So back in 2013, I actually lost a child before. Back in 2013, my water broke. I went into early labor, had contractions and everything at 22 and a half weeks. So I was like 5.5 months pregnant. And I at that time, they determined after I lost a baby that I was high-risk pregnancy. And unfortunately, you don't find out that you're high-risk pregnancy until typically after you lose a child or after you have a miscarriage or something of that sort, which I think is just absolutely horrible. So that happened back in 2013, and completely devastated, asking God why and all the things. And of course, at the end of the day, I told God, nevertheless, thy will be done, and I trust you, God. So, your plan for my life is the plan that the better plan that I could ever come up with. And so that happened in 2013. And so let's just fast forward to 2016, where I met my husband. In 2020, we were married. And in July of 2021, we decided to start our TTC journey. I'm gonna give you guys some of these, some of these TTC, some of my women that know what TTC is, you know what these acronyms are, but basically trying to conceive, okay? So that's basically what it is. I'm trying not to break down like any TMI stories, but hey, listen at your own risk, but I'm not gonna be too nasty. I don't think I'll be too nasty. I'll try to clean it up a little bit, but it'll be all good. So July of 2021, we decided to start trying, and by November, actually Thanksgiving week of 2021, so not even like 4 months later, I found out we were pregnant. Super excited about that. God blessed. Prior to, like I said, I lost a child, and so I prayed and asked God, like, God, am I going to be allowed to have children to where I'm able to keep the child, and and stuff like that. And so God reassured me way back when, all those years ago, He reassured me that happened before was not going to happen again, and that I was indeed going to have children and all the things. And so I was super excited about that. And along the way, in those years leading up to me meeting my husband and getting married and us deciding to have our first child, I got so many different confirmations from God's vessels, reassuring me that God was indeed going to bless me with children, bless my womb, and different things like that. So I was super excited about that. And so November, how befitting, right, to find out Thanksgiving weekend. So Thanksgiving week, I just was extra thankful, right? Extra thankful for him blessing me with my baby. And so we found out we were pregnant, so we scheduled doctor's visits. So we know that I'm high risk, right? So we know high risk meaning basically you lost the pregnancy due to your baby delivering early. And now two things. They said I'm high risk, meaning that I have to get a stitch, okay? I have to get my cervix stitched up in the first trimester, because basically my cervix can't hold a baby full term. And they said they don't know as to why I went into early labor last time. They don't know if it's either preterm or whether it's incompetent cervix. And so preterm labor means that your body just started laboring early. You go into, your contractions and you start having the pains and your water breaks, and just naturally, your body just progresses, but it progresses too soon, and you have the baby prior to the term that you're supposed to have the baby. That's why it's called preterm. And then there's incompetent cervix, where it's just your cervix is weakened as your baby gets bigger and as your baby grows, and the heavier the baby becomes, the weaker your cervix is. And then, if you don't have that stitch there to show it, to sew it shut, your baby will fall through and basically force you to go into labor and all the things. And so that they didn't know whether it was one or the other, so they wanted to watch me closely each week to find out which one it is. So I find out I'm pregnant. I go to my OB doctor the very next week. I find out early, I'm about 7 weeks or so. And since I'm high risk, I have to see 2 doctors every week. I have to see both my OB doctor, which is the regular OB doctor, and then I have to go see a high risk doctor, which my OB recommended me to go see. And so the OB doctor was doing the regular thing. So how regular pregnancy works is that your first trimester, you see the doctor every 4 weeks. Your second trimester, you see the doctor every 2 weeks. Third trimester, every week. Okay. So as you progress further on, you start seeing the doctor more and more. With high risk doctor, they're watching your cervix like a hawk. I had to go every week. And because it's me and because I'm high risk, I didn't get a chance to do the natural or the normal schedule. I had to see both doctors pretty much every week. And so it was a lot. That's already a lot in and of itself, driving back and forth, to the doctor. Now, granted, we picked a doctor in a hospital that was close. That's 15 minutes from my home, but still, having to go to the doctor twice a week. And then, so after that, going twice a week, they're watching me closely. By the time that I hit the 17-week mark, my high-risk doctor wanted me to start taking progesterone shots. And these are these shots with these needles, with this 15-second needle. Basically, they have to stick a needle in the back of my arms, in the fatty part of my arm for about 15 seconds. And it takes about 15 seconds of the medicine to go in, and it burns the whole time that it's going in. And so I guess I just got used to it, because I started thinking about, the outcome is way better than what I have to go through and what I had to, my body had to go through. And so I'm just like, Lord, I'm like, why can't I get the baby the regular way and not have to go through all this stuff? But hey, listen, this is a part of my testimony. And so I'm just like, you know what? At the end of the day, as long as I get my healthy baby, that's all that matters, okay? And so I started taking the progesterone shots. Now I got to take these shots weekly. So I had, not only did I have the 2 visits per week, going to the doctor. I had to go to my OB and my high risk. I had to have a nurse practitioner come to my house every Monday to administer the shot in the back of my arms, and they had to alternate each week. So each week, burn here, burn there, burn, and I'm just like, goodness gracious. So I had to get a total number of, the number was 20 shots, or you get the shots up until you pretty much deliver. And so I had to go to that. Now, week 18, they said I didn't get the stitch yet, and they said they wanted to watch me closely. Prior to week 18, my cervix was normal. It was closed. It was it was nothing protruding, was nothing opening. I was looking like a normal pregnancy. They said everything, we're just going to watch you closely. And yes, eventually you're going to have to get the stitch, but we want to, monitor you first so we can determine which part of high risk are you? Are you preterm or are you incompetent cervix? And so week 18, I go to my doctor's visit on a Friday. They find out that it's indeed incompetent cervix, because my cervix is now starting to open on its own. And the doctor came back in there. She scared me, actually. She came back in there and was like, you got to go to the doctor, and we have to do a surgery immediately. And I'm like, okay, by immediately, when you say that, what are we talking, doctor? Today is Friday. So what are you saying? And she was like, oh, well, we can actually get you, you can actually go across the street today, and we can prep you, and actually you can go to the surgery today. And I was like, pump the brakes. Wait a minute. You're taking me too fast. I said, I'm a little nervous, and I had, of course, all the questions and all that kind of stuff. And so they, I was like, can we give me the weekend? Can we do it on Monday, Monday morning? And so she said, yes, but it's an emergent surgery, so we have to do it as soon as possible. So we go, I leave the doctor, I let everybody know what's going on. And so she then schedules it for early Monday morning. I had had to go to the doctor or go to the surgeon at 6 a.m. to go register. The surgery was at 8, and of course between 6 and 8, I'm registering. They're getting me prepped. They're getting me back there. They're starting to put, my IVs on, giving me my fluids, and the anesthesiologist comes back there asking me all the questions. Am I allergic to anything? And this and that and the third. And so I had to have surgery. I had to get that stitch. And so the stitch is not, I'm thinking, that's like they sew your cervix closed like a button, right? I'm thinking it's like, you're going to loop it a couple of times, and tie it and make sure it's tight. No, the stitch is like, it's like a drawstring ponytail. Like literally they got to go in and out and in and out all the sides of it, I think like 4 or 5 times, and then pull it shut to where it, it kind of shuts like that or whatever. And so they had to do that, but they put me to sleep. I didn't feel a thing, thank God. And the surgery went well. I was out of work for a week, still got paid, so that's another blessing. I was out on disability, still got paid for my job. Oh, bless the Lamb of God. And I was super happy about that. Then, double blessing, I go back to work because I work from home. Okay, so ever since this world, catastrophe is happening, I've been working from home. My job has allowed us to be hybrid schedule, or at least 100%, remote. So I'm able to work from home. And so when I log back in to work a week later after my surgery, my manager lets me know, like, hey, we're giving you a raise, and I'm just like, thank you, God. Like, I'm going through all these things, but still, you blessing me, like, bam, 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 bam. I just feel like it's like back to back, right? Like, you already blessing me with my child. I'm going through the stuff, going through the steps, but then you blessed me with a raise on my job, and I was out on disability already getting paid. So I'm like, won't he do it? So I was so excited about all of that. And so then the whole goal with the high-risk doctors and stuff and with my OB is they want to get me, the first goal is to give me 24 weeks. And so they say, if we get you to 24 weeks, we can give you these steroid shots. These steroid shots is basically, it's 2 shots that you take 24 hours apart. And these 2 shots basically is going to help speed up your baby's lung development, since that's the last major organ that grows for babies. And so that's basically why my previous son passed, is because I had him at 22 and a half weeks. They said he really just had lung buds. He didn't have his fully undeveloped lungs. And so that's why he really didn't have anything that, made him capable of breathing on his own. That's why he passed. And so by the time you're 24 weeks, your survivability rate is about 40-50%, but it really goes up a little bit more when you get that steroid boost. And so the goal was to get 24 weeks. So I got the stitch. After surgery, my doctor put me on modified bed rest. She told me pretty much not go anywhere. She told me not go anywhere, don't do anything. I couldn't cook, couldn't clean. I had to, outsource those things or get family, my husband to help, different things like that. And so she told me don't cook, don't clean, don't pick up anything heavier than a half gallon of milk. And I'm just like, Jesus. Like, I know I work from home and I'm a homebody, but I don't want to be immobile either, so, but hey, whatever I gotta do, whatever I gotta do, whatever steps I gotta take in order to get my baby here. And so I did all of that. I got to 24 weeks and I was excited about that. They gave me the steroid shots. And then after the steroid shots, they said I started tunneling. And so they really wanted to hear me giving the steroid shots, because the tunneling meaning that, yes, I got the stitch, but pretty much your cervix is completely opened at this point. It's only like a little bit millimeters at this point. That's a little bit closed after the stitch, but only thing that's really holding me at this point is just the stitch. And so the stitch was a godsend, because I'm like, okay, what happens if, because I'm asking questions, what happens if the stitch doesn't work? And what happens if that falls through? And they're like, it's all God. Like these are the only things we can do. We can have the progesterone shots, which that basically suppresses your contractions and it prevents your cervix from going into early labor. And then the stitch, of course, prevents your cervix from opening prematurely. And so I had to have all the things, do all the things, right? Weekly, just everything. And so I'm like, God, but nevertheless, I trust you. God, I know what you said, that I'm gonna get to have a baby. You didn't tell me how I was gonna have one. You didn't tell me all the things I had to go through, but nevertheless, God, I trust you. And so we got to the 24 weeks. I got the steroid shots. They told me to keep doing what I've been doing, which was pretty much nothing. And so just working from home, sitting up. And sometimes even when I couldn't sit up, I had to lay down in my bed with a a tray over me and my laptop in my lap, you know, working that way. And then, you know, I just had to do what I could do until we got to the golden week, which is 28 weeks. 28 weeks is pretty much your baby has a 90% survivability rate. So we got to 28 weeks. We were super excited about that. I'm like, God, this stitch really held up. And so we were able to do that. You know, 28 weeks, exciting. Then fast forward, we kept going 29, 30, 31, 32. We were taking a week at a time. Like, another week is another week. We bless God every week, right? And of course, I'm taking it a day at a time because I'm pregnant. Like, my going thing, like my mom and, you know, friends and stuff would ask me, like, my sister was like, you know, how are you feeling? I'd be like, pregnant. You know, I mean, how are you supposed to feel? I'm pregnant, you know? And I would always tell them, listen, I can't wait to be unpregnant. Here, I can't wait to be pregnant because, listen, there's a lot of stuff that go on with being pregnant. And who lied and said it's morning sickness? It's never morning sickness, all day sickness. And then I had it to where it went in from my first trimester into my second trimester. And I was nauseous, but could never throw up. I never understood what that dynamic was, but nevertheless. And so we got to 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33 weeks. At 33 weeks, I was talking to my husband and I felt a little trickle, and I'm like, that ain't pee. Like, I got to, you know, that ain't, okay, let me go to the bathroom real quick. And so then I go to the bathroom, and I'm not in any pain, I'm not in any labor, and I use the restroom. And usually, you know, with you being pregnant, listen, it's like Niagara Falls usually every time you go to the restroom. This time I had a little tink tink, and that was it. And I'm like, really? That's it? So when it was just a little tink tink, I was like, yeah, no, that's coming from another source. And so because it was just a little trickle, I was unsure, because last time that my water broke, listen, I was without a shadow of doubt knew what that was, because it was like I turned over a gallon of milk. I mean, it just, you know, was just out of there. But this time it was just like trickling. And so, okay, I was like, okay, I think my water just broke, you know? And so then when I was about to go tell my husband, like, hey, I think we need to go ahead and prep and go ahead and go to the hospital, it started kind of running down. It was like a cup of water. That's pretty much how much it was, like a cup of water running down the insides of my legs. And so I'm just like, yeah, that's definitely my water. I didn't fully break, but it broke. And so now it's time to go to the hospital. We go to the hospital at 33 weeks. They tell me that I'm not in any labor. And so because I'm not in labor, they told me I got good news and bad news. The bad news is you got to be admitted into the hospital, and you're not leaving this hospital. The good news is you're not leaving this hospital without a baby. So they told me that we're going to watch you closely. I got admitted at 33 weeks. They said we're going to watch you, we're going to monitor you, we're going to see if your body goes into labor naturally. And if it does, you know, that'll be great. You'll have your son, and that'll be great. But if your body doesn't go into labor naturally, we're going to only allow you to be in the hospital for a week. We only allow you to get to 34 weeks, because with your bag being ruptured like that, you can either, you know, your son or you can get an infection, or both. And so my son was nestled in there. He was fine. He wasn't trying to come out. He just was fine. And so we did have to get to the 34 weeks where they had to induce me. They had to remove my stitch. They removed it. I didn't have any anesthesia or anything, or any pain meds. And it was really, like, I really didn't feel anything. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be painful, but no, they went in there and clipped it and pulled it out. It was literally, like I said, a drawstring. And it did its job. You know, it held me closed until it was time for me to deliver. And so because they didn't want me to get an infection, they gave me some medication to induce me at 7:30 in the morning on a Thursday. I had my son at 9:06 in the morning on the very next day, on that Friday. And so I had my baby at 34 weeks and 1 day. And so I had him 6 weeks early. My baby was born, of course, premature, and he was 3 pounds, 12 and a half ounces, and 16 and a half inches long. And he was a beautiful baby. When they took him out, of course, he had to go to the NICU, but immediately the NICU people, you know, they grabbed him, they checked him, and they said, oh, those steroid shots that you took was great. They actually gave me a second set of steroid shots when I had to get admitted at 33 weeks. So they gave me another round of those steroid shots for his lung development. And it worked perfectly. Like, he didn't have to go to the NICU immediately. We were able to do skin to skin, which that was just so amazing to me. That's what I really wanted to do. So we were able to do skin to skin for over an hour. And then they didn't have NICU available there, so we had to go all the way to Waxahachie, Baylor to be in the NICU. But that even in that still was a blessing, because you know, family lived in Waxahachie, so I was able to kind of stay over there, and it was 24/7 visitation, so I got to go see my baby 2 and 3 times a day. He didn't have to stay in NICU, but for 9 days. And out of all the babies that were born either the same day as him or that same week as him, he was the very first one. He was the smallest one in there, but he was the very first one to graduate from the NICU. So it was just blessing after blessing, and God was just really blessing me. And I'm, you know, still asking God, now this is happening, like, you know. And so he reassured me throughout the whole thing, and I'm so elated that I got my miracle baby. We were able to, after 9 days at the NICU, they allowed us on that 9th day to come stay the night at the hospital to learn how to, you know, kind of start doing the things, you know, feeding them every 2 hours, up every 2-3 hours, and you know, kind of getting into that whole, you know, parental mode. And so I'm so excited, because now that my baby's a little bit over 11 weeks now, he's over 9 pounds. I got a big boy, and he's just a heaven sent. And I'm just so thankful to God that he allowed me to have a baby, that he blessed me with my miracle baby. And so of course I cried, you know, when I had him, and as he's laying on my chest and I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and he kind of looked up at me like, Mama, and I was just like, yeah, it's me, baby. You know, you all this time you've been listening to me be loud and laugh and talk and all that kind of stuff, and now you get to put a name on the face. And so it was great. Like out of all of that, like, I know I had to endure quite a bit, but even in that, like, God still blessed me, and I thank God for that. And I just want to take a moment to you know, speak over each and every woman's life that's hearing this live, you know, that's trying to conceive, that's dealing with any type of infertility issues. You know, pray and ask God to heal you. Pray and ask God, you know, to move things out the way, so that way he can bless your womb. And I pray that that's indeed what he does, that he blesses your womb, and that you're able to produce, and that you're able to do just what he said, which is, you know, be fruitful and multiply. And so my prayers and my heart and my love and my strength and my joy and my peace go out to you, each and every one of those ladies that's trying, or that's, you know, wanting to have children and hadn't been able to yet. And so that is it for this video. If y'all want to take a second, I want to show you my baby. I'll show this little clip real quick. Show the clip. Hi, Mama's baby. Hi, my tinkas. Hi, look at your little legs, your arms. Hi, Mama's baby. Hi. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. Hi. Hi, Mama's baby. Hi, Mama's precious baby. Your little prince. Hi. 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 Mommy loves that baby. Mommy loves that baby. He's so handsome. He's so handsome. Oh, look at you. Mommy's little miracle. Mommy's little miracle. Yay. Yay. Yay, Mommy's little miracle baby. Hi, honey. Hi, baby. Say hello, world. Hello, hello. Hello, world. Say hi. Hi. Hi, honey. Hi. Until my next video, guys, I will talk to you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because it helps my channel grow. It helps the YouTube algorithm find me, and I really would appreciate everything that you guys do. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching, and until my next video, guys, stay blessed. Bye.